Not everyone has the time to devote to the game of Hearthstone all the time, and thus Blizzard has implemented some mechanics for players to return to the game and perhaps not be behind as far as they may have thought. And this is the first part of that. So, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Rooster, and this is Return of the Hero, which is a series of quests which Blizzard has implemented to facilitate the rehabilitation of people that have been away from Hearthstone for a little bit. This is my North American account. It's the same account as the one I'm using in Europe with all the fancy cards, but I have not touched this one for I think about half a year.
There are three challengers who have been waiting for you.
Which qualifies us for the for this option this Blizzard being generous. So the first part of this series of quests here gives us a pre-constructed mage deck and guides us through beating 3 of the recently or less recently introduced heroes. To get a little facilitated with them, and to basically just get back into the game a little bit. You have to, I think, beat these before you can even go back to the normal game. But you will be rewarded 3 packs for defeating these, and it shouldn't be really that hard. Your opponent is basically using a basic hunter. Well, not entirely a basic hunter deck, but pretty basic, and you'll be given a pretty basic mage deck with some fancier cards, and the same applies for your opponent actually. I think I will actually keep this. Yeah. For anyone who has touched Hearthstone in the past, this should not prove to be too much of a problem. Since the decks are actually, well, at least the mage deck is actually surprisingly decent. I'm not sure whether the order in which you draw the cards is predetermined. I don't think so, but we might as well just go check it out. I have already tried this on my Asian account. Could we please? Thank you. Of course, the connection is going to be a little slower since we're talking long distance here. I do think Alaria is playing the same cards in the same order, actually, which is kind of interesting. I don't recall having a mirror image in my starting hand, though, so that might be throwing you for a loop a little bit. We could go for the mirror entity here, but I rather like the mirror image right now, plus being able to hero power this one down. Might run into an explosive trap, which I think I remember her running. Yeah, that is exactly the same order of cards, so that is a little fishy. I think there might be some some predetermination going on here. Kind of want to frostbolt this, I guess. We could just not attack for a round, I guess. That's also not horrible. Let's go for that. Just to make our mana expenditures a little smoother, I guess. And that should be the famed explosive trap, I think. So let's just get rid of stuff right now. Could trade in the mana worm, but don't really care too much about that. Let's just go for the more efficient play here. Trigger with what I think is going to be an explosive trap. Yeah, there we go. And well, the water elemental is going to be pretty good here. Might as well miss 1 damage. Oh boy. Missed 1 damage. It's terrible. Yeah, so things are looking pretty good for us here. As I said, this shouldn't be too much of a challenge. So, what purpose would you have for having another account? That is actually a curious thing. I've heard of people talking about different accounts before, and I've never really seen the allure of it. But with some of the time-exclusive events that Blizzard introduced, such as... why didn't I play the Ooze there? I really don't know. She's kind of dead here, though, so that doesn't really matter. But Yeah, there were certain time-exclusive promotions, such as the first Wing of Nexramas, which you could get for free, which is when I started these accounts. So I've got those. Then there was, I think, 3 Goblin versus Gnomes packs, which I've gotten for free. The early promotions with Whispers of the Old Gods that gave you a couple of packs for playing a couple of standard games with the introduction of standard, so that was really nice. I have not done the introduction of Karazhan on these accounts, obviously, because I haven't played them in over half a year. But basically any of the free promotional stuff I do have, which means that these accounts actually have opened a reasonable number of boosters compared to the average starting account. So they're not horribly behind. I obviously haven't really played them much beyond the simple standard quests, so don't expect any miracles. But yeah, it's actually pretty neat, and should you ever find yourself in need of a new account or just wanting to try the new player experience, then getting started on these can definitely be worth it. If you have not touched your Hearthstone account for any amount of time, if you haven't touched it for over half a year, I would say, probably a little less than that, but I can't really confirm or deny that. Yeah, this is predetermined, because this was the exact same opener. The hunter did the exact same things, so pretty obvious that there's some card stacking going on here. What do we do? This is going to give me an Argent Squire, if I remember correctly. So that makes it a little impressive, but still makes it a correct play, I guess? I can't really say. Oh, is the RNG even predetermined? That is actually a little dirty. I don't know about that. Anyway, we could go for Sorcerer's Apprentice plus Arcane Missiles, which is not awful, actually. Which means that I have a hero power, and on average I would kill these. On average I would. I'll go with averages here. Sure. Just take a bit of a different approach than before. So one hits face. This is actually excellent. Alright. Not even losing the Divine Shield is pretty much the best outcome I could have asked for. So what do we do about this? I would like to get rid of that, but that could be costly in this situation. I maybe should fireball it. That seems like a big waste. I kinda just want to develop this water elemental, and I guess that means I'm trading the Sorcerer's Apprentice in, but that's okay. Hitting the healing totem doesn't really do anything. And so yeah, what I was going to say, I don't remember him playing that card, but I guess if he's overloaded or anything, there weren't any overloads played. Oh, I guess this is where the RNG stops. At a certain turn, I guess. Makes the turns rather awkward still, though. Because I want to play the Azure Drake, but that doesn't... that still does let me just do this, and that's actually fine. There was a Stormforged Axe somewhere. I guess that might come out this turn then. Or next turn then. Because I haven't seen my ooze anyway, so... Would they give you an ooze if your opponent played the axe right the turn after? That actually sounds like something that might happen. So we're in a pretty comfortable position here. We could go for... let's go for the Arcane Intellect. I want to draw some cards here. And go for Mana Worm plus Frostbolt. I don't hate it. Alright. So yeah, these games shouldn't be too much of a challenge, and if in case you were wondering, you are given 2 additional quests afterwards. One that says to play an X number of cards in play mode. I think it's 30 cards. I played 15 cards in my first game, and then barely fell short of playing another 15 in my second. But that was the way it went. let's just stack all the spell damage here. Probably trade this one off. And then prepare to strike for lethal next turn. Most likely. Unless he keeps healing, of course. Or gets a taunt. That's actually rather annoying. Oh, scary. We've got double spell power, that means Fireball hits for... yeah, that should still do it. I don't know a lot of math, but this looks like lethal to me. And after completing the quest to play 30 cards in play mode, I think another quest comes up that triggers from dealing 100 damage to your opponents in play mode, I think. And both of those quests also give you a set of 3 boosters, so that's pretty neat. And the Innkeeper even offers to make a deck for you, which I'm not sure I'm that enthusiastic about. On my Asia account, I had made a very basic Zulok deck. I didn't craft any cards, but from the cards I've opened, from all the boosters that I had, I could make a pretty decent Zoo-ish Warlock deck with some bigger cards, because they happen to be rather okay-ish. I'll keep this. And then the Innkeeper offered to make me a worse Warlock deck, but I did manage to win 1 game in play mode with it. Maybe even 2, actually. I think I did win 2, but I don't really remember. So that was pretty neat. And if you aren't very familiar with the deck creation process, then that might actually be of use to you, because it was by no means a horrible deck, but given some experience, you could definitely do a better job. This is exactly the same as I remember again. So I guess the first few turns are actually scripted, but this turns out to be pretty good for us, so I'm not complaining, certainly. A little spell heavy, I guess. So if I were given the choice, I probably would have gone for some minions right now. Or how about that?
Can't do that.
So yeah, these NPCs really shouldn't pose too much of a challenge for you. But it's good to get back into the game after you obviously haven't played for quite a while. I don't hate that. Yeah, let's go for that. We could go for a Frostbolt actually, but that seems like a bit of a waste. We can just take 2 damage on the Water Elemental here. Then develop this. We could actually freeze the Warrior's face, but that seems a little unnecessary. We do have quite a bit of damage on hand. We've got 9 on the table, and then if we cast 2 spells next turn, we can actually cast 2 spells next turn. So that means we have a 9 in hand, 9 on the table. That is 18 plus 4, 22 damage. Just a little off lethal. But I guess we don't really have a lot of good options, so let's just Fireball face and prepare to finish. I'm okay with this. And perhaps I can't count. The Frostbolt would have added 5 more damage, I guess. That's fine. And that's it. Hurrah! And with that, your admittedly probably not that impressive collection is boosted with some new boosters. So let's open those up, see what we get. I did open I actually opened a golden Malagos from from my Asian account, which was a little crazy. Not quite sure what to do with that yet. I also got a bit earlier. I don't remember which of the accounts it was actually, where I got a golden Mogor the Ogre, and that's the moment where you're actually a little disappointed that you didn't open that on your main account. So prepare for some amount of disappointment if you intend to visit another server. So we've got a new quest here, right? Yeah, ready for action, play 30 cards in play mode. So let's go check out what the deck I had prepared on this account. Because I think I had a Druid deck on this one. I'm not sure if we have any meaningful additions. Classic Druid. A little bit of, Oh, I opened the Yashiraj on this one. Not a Cthulhu Druid deck, right? No, just a generic Ren Druid deck. With a few new options, I guess, although not that impressive altogether. 2 Bog Creepers was kind of nice. So this deck, it did a few things. Let's go check out what the Innkeeper makes for us. Whether he does. I guess he doesn't? I guess he didn't here. Right. I'm not sure what would trigger his creation of a deck for you, but well, perhaps it's the custom druid here. Did I make 2 different ones? I guess I did. There was a custom druid deck also. I really don't remember what I did on this account. Oh, this might just be... This might just be a generic druid deck, I guess. I really don't remember what I did on this account. What else did I open? Any good druid cards? Few decent hunter cards, I guess. It's been a while since I visited this account. You can probably imagine. Not looking at an account for over half a year and then suddenly going back to that. Was this the account with the Mogor? It might be, but I think I actually had that one in my Warlock deck, and it allowed for some fun moments, I guess. So not really anything special here. No, that must mean... Well, I do have the Yashiraj here, of course, but not a lot of exciting Cthulhu cards. A few extras, I guess, which is not too exciting. Let's just go with the Druid deck and see how it does. And see how rank mode treats us. I guess if you immediately go to your collection and make a deck, then the Innkeeper deems it not necessary for you to do so. Or perhaps he sees that I already have a lot of custom decks on this one and thinks I'll be fine. I don't know what the algorithm is to determine that, but yeah, the deck was a little strange. It had Mad Bombers and
Alfurion versus Anduin.
what is it again?
The light shall bring victory.
The 6/6 Infernal card for the Warlocks, and then a lot of small token guys, which made it a little interesting. What have we got here? We're fighting against the priests. So the Swamp Ooze isn't very necessary. I actually am tempted to keep the Sentient Shieldmaster, although against the priest it might be a little less effective actually. Let's go with this. Because we can pretty much expect him to have a Shadowward Pain or something, which is a little annoying at the start. Now, if you're going into ranked mode, do be prepared for the inevitable net decks, even at very low ranks. Although, if our opponent is playing priest, then I'm really not sure what to expect, so we'll see, I guess.
Mind if I roll need?
Oh, well, I'm certainly happy to hear power that one down. Alternatively, no real alternative, so I'm okay with that. You can draw your cards, it's fine with me. So I'm curious what we are up against. Might actually just be...
It's getting hot in here.
Might actually be a pretty basic priest deck. Not that unlikely. I'm seeing a pretty great Shadows and Cleric here. Don't dislike it. Don't dislike it at all. Unless there's a power shield coming out, of course. which is definitely possible. In that case, what do we do? If he power shields this, that's actually rather annoying. I guess we still Shadowed Sun Cleric. That's not it's not the worst idea. I mean, the Shadowed Sun dies instead of the ooze, but we still have a decent minion on the table at least. We could trade and play the double Elven Archer, but that seems kind of bad. Or Elven Archer and Hero Power, but then the Ooze still dies. I think any situation in which the Ooze, in which we have a reasonable board, is going to be beneficial. It's actually interesting to take a look at these kind of situations and see what the game offers you. It's refreshing. Definitely refreshing to go back to your roots a little bit. I'm afraid we're going to have to trade here, so I guess it's going to be Elven Archer time and then Novice Engineer to draw a card. We could Hero Power that one actually. Hero Power Novice or Hero Power Ooze. Ooze seems kind of bad. Lots of options actually seem kind of bad. So we could go for Senjin and then just get wrecked by Shadow Word Pain. I don't like that. Yeah, let's go for the Elven Archer, actually. Just build a bit of a board. Oh, we could go double Elven Archer and wipe his board. Which I certainly don't hate. So let's go with that. Double Archer makes our next turn a little... Well, it's actually fine, as long as we have something to shoot 2 damage at. Or draw a card with odd mana cost, I suppose. I might be using my basic Druid deck instead of the one I constructed, which might make this a little more tricky than it needed to be. I'm beginning to suspect I'm using my basic Druid deck instead of the one I constructed with the cards I opened, so this we could be in for a challenge here. Should definitely consider switching after completing this game. But as long as we're playing a lot of cards, we're actually fine, right? So we're just trying to achieve our quests here. Ooh, he thought Stolen Innervate. Not sure I agree, but... Oh, is that good? Well, I suppose we could Ironforge Rifleman and then just run into Holy Nova. That seems kind of bad. But we don't really have a lot of great options, I suppose. Well, we could trade and play Senjin. Powered Shield is not going to absolutely wreck us here, so I guess that's fine. Let's go with that. Ooh, oh my. I guess we're trading into that one. Ooh, but killing the priest is also going to be important. Well, we can't have it all. Ooh, that's a good one though. I'm certainly happy to see that card. Still can't quite deal with the cleric, but I guess that's fine as long as we get rid of the Emperor in this way. And then I suppose we play Ooze? That seems okay. We could Hero Power, no, there's no way we're getting rid of that, so I guess we're playing Ooze. Getting wrecked by Holy Nova, that's not really avoidable, I guess, so let's just draw a card, get that out of the way. If you have to lose something to Holy Nova, then I guess it might as well be Novice Engineer. Of course we should have drawn our card first, and that would have allowed us to Hero Power Claw to kill the Cleric. Right? No, but we could Claw and trade in the Archer, which is not unreasonable. Let's see what happens here. At least it's not wild, so I don't have to be scared of a... what am I thinking of? Felon's Chosen, there we go. Killing one of our minions, but we are able to kill the Cleric next turn, so that's fine. Healing the Cleric to draw a card is a little annoying, though. We might be in for a rough one here. People and their stupid legendaries. Ugh. Blizzard, please. Blizzard, please. Yeah, Rifleman is fine. Still really scared of that Holy Nova, but it's gonna happen anyway. Might as well be prepared. This is fine. Hero power face, and let's see what happens. Not really making much of progress here, which is kind of worrisome. Don't have a lot of card draw aside from the Gnomish Inventor and Novice Engineers, I guess. But that's a basic deck for you. Or people and their fancy cards, fancy schmency cards. Kind of ugly. But if that's all he does, then I guess I'm kind of fine with that. Ooh, that could be ugly. Oh, that's reasonable. All right. Not as bad as it could have been. Can we claw that down? Yes, we actually can. We can Iron Forge Rifleman and then claw on the other one. That's pretty good actually. Not too upset about that. All right. So what have you got, dear opponent? Oh, that could be good. We need to kill this though, and I guess we also kind of need to kill that, so let's just stick to the original plan. Go with this one. Hero Power Claw. And then hopefully have 2 minions for next turn, so we can get a decent Frostwolf Warlord going. Alright, let's see it. Did we see his second Thought Stolen card yet? I don't think we have. How do we deal with that properly? I guess we can Iron Forge Rifleman Hero Power, but that doesn't quite fit with the Frostwolf Warlord, unfortunately. That's a pretty big card. We can trade everything into it, but that seems kind of awful. Trade everything into it, then play Yeti. I guess that kind of works. That ogre is going to wreck us if we don't get rid of it right now. Alternatively, we can just play Yeti into Frostwolf Warlord, which makes that a 7/7. I guess that's kind of okay. And then trade the 4/2 into the 2/3. And hope he doesn't have Shadow or Death. How about that? Did we have any Shadow or Death targets earlier? I guess we didn't. The alternative would be to Iron Forge Rifleman Hero Power and then play Yeti. But that trades in everything, leaves us with a 2/2 that dies to the 2/3. I don't like that. I don't like that at all. Excuse me. That was my cord messing up. I guess we're going for this. Which means that we absolutely have to do it in this order. So we're trading off this one and going face. We can't deal with the 7/7 very well, and then we hope to have a way to deal with the ogre next turn. Which I suppose we kind of don't, because we're basic druid and we have no way to deal with that ogre. Yeah, I guess we're dead. I wasn't expecting that. I guess no one was expecting that. That's rank 24 for you guys. Basic druid can be rough. All these fancy schmency cards, jeez. When will matchmaking find true balance? Yeah, we're pretty dead. We are pretty dead.
Must cleanse the Sunwell.
Not a lot of great options, unfortunately. Let's go with this. Kill the biggest thing he has.
Give it a shot.
And I guess give up next turn unless we top deck a lot of Gnomish Inventors, I guess. Because things are not going too well for us right now. Come on. How can we ever beat a priest, guys? They're just... How can you ever beat priest? I can understand people writing reviews on the App Store right now. I mean, how can you beat all those silly cards as a new player? Oh, we're ripping the Gnomish Inventors at the very least, so that's something. Does that help? I guess we can kill this off, but I would rather get rid of the spell power, I guess. So save the Yeah, I guess we have to save it then. We have to kill this, and I guess we have to save this, just to have a chance to kill the big game hunter next turn. That's not too pretty. I guess he can't heal right now, so if he smashes the Arcanine into the Inventor, and he can't heal anything, so at least we can kill something, which is kind of okay. Oh my gosh, it's all so big. Such big cards on the other side. It's really unfortunate. I don't know if there's a way to draw out. I haven't looked too well at the deck list to have an idea of what we're drawing for, but it's certainly not this. Alright, that big game hunter was a little much. Blizzard, please. Big game hunter, nerf. Oh. But yeah, selecting the wrong deck also didn't really do us any favors here. So that's certainly the wrong druid deck. Okay, let's see if this should definitely help. Card quality should be a lot better here. Excuse me for that. My chair is really acting strangely. But at least we made some decent progress towards our quest, which is really the only thing we care about. Because as you may very well be aware, we can't lose stars at this rank. Alright. Up against Hunter. Oh, I'm liking the ooze. I'm certainly liking that. Not keeping any of these other cards, so that's fine. I'm a lot happier with this deck already. At least seeing some decent cards makes me feel much better. Let's see what we're up against. We can just assume the worst and start preparing for secrets, or I don't think that's entirely necessary. It would be nice if he were actually present. That would be nice.
My greetings.
Turn 1 can possibly be that hard, unless you've got like no. I don't see any hunter turn 1 that's going to be this challenging. Alright, there we are. Let's start ramping. Because we've actually got some decent cards in this deck. Turn 2. Might be facing a secret here. What do we do actually? Because he's not going to coin out a weapon, obviously. Oh, that is actually a nice card. Let's hope he doesn't deadly shot it, but and even if he does, we have a Psychotron for next turn, so that's all fine. Fine and dandy. Nice top deck though. I'm certainly grateful for that. Otherwise, I probably would have played the Ooze in Hero Power just to have something on the board to deal with whatever he's got here. If there's an Animal Companion, I think we can reasonably deal with any Animal Companion that comes out here. And we probably should be vigilant in removing any of his beasts off of the board. Because Houndmaster is actually a basic card. Right, do we swipe that? I don't think we swipe that, right? If he Houndmasters this, is that a problem? I don't think that's too much of a problem. And I wouldn't mind Starfiring this next turn. So actually Psychotron is fine. Do we hit it? That would allow him to kill the Senjin next turn if he Houndmasters, but that's probably okay. And that does allow us to swipe next turn instead, so I think I like that. Let's go hit it. If he Houndmasters, that becomes a 4/6, hits into the Senjin, and we can still swipe, or we can Starfire. Well, and that's both fine with me. Alright. I'm okay with that. So what you got? What you got over there? All this taunt? Taunt is cheat. Jeez. What's he supposed to do with this? Yeah. So he could hit in. If he doesn't, that's pretty good for us, right? Starfire deals 5, but we can hit the Divine Shield in then, I suppose. Or use the Divine Shield on the Houndmaster. That's also pretty nice. Any any reasonable alternatives. We could go for the Acidic Swamp Ooze. I'm expecting a basic deck here, so that's kind of okay. We can swipe and Swamp Ooze, or we can Starfire. I rather like having the Swamp Ooze in play, so we could go for this. That's actually a reasonable trade. Or we could just play some minions. I rather like getting rid of that, actually. Yes, I do like getting rid of that, so let's go with the Ooze and Swipe play, I guess. Yeah. Just having some stuff on the board is going to be better for us. Having the Ooze makes us much more flexible than just having the Psychotron. Plus, I guess an actual another card in our hand, but having extra options doesn't really add too much. If you've already, I've got enough stuff for like 3 or 4 more turns at the very least. Even if we just top deck another Wild Growth and something that doesn't really matter, then I'm still fine with this. Alright, going for the Stormwind Championeer, quite obviously, because that's actually excellent here. There we go. Oh, Psychotron so OP. So, what you got? Deadly Shot? I wouldn't put it past him. Deadly Shot here, and we might actually be in trouble if he manages to deal with the Psychotron. That is okay with me. And in addition, we have
My eyes are open.
a heal. Alright. I'm tempted to Starfire here, actually. Because that allows us to preserve our minions, and I'm rather fond of my minions right now. So I'm liking that. Drawing a card that just allows us to hero power in addition, though. So maybe we just go something like this. Yeah, that's actually fine if we play the Iron Bar. More mana efficient than Starfiring and hero powering also. Well, it's not more mana efficient, but the hero power doesn't really add anything, and the Iron Bark is actually pretty relevant on this board. Could still go for a Deadly Shot, and in 50% of cases that could be pretty bad for us. But I'm certainly okay with this. Alright, so we could still go for the Starfire plus hero power here. Alternatively, do I like that? We could just hit him for 15. For 20, missing 8 damage. Yeah, we're not going to make up for 8 damage here. High Main is quite a card. But I like Starfiring that more, sure. That eliminates a lot of damage from the board, so I like that. And I guess we hero power one of them. And we hit face pretty hard. Yeah, we're hitting face pretty hard. Because if he has no way to deal with the Iron Bark right now, for example, Kill Command, you could definitely have a Kill Command here. Huntmaster kinda works, kinda doesn't. Kinda doesn't work. How much have we got? We've got Savage Roar if we trade in that one. Oh, actually that doesn't work, because then the Stormwind Champion would die. Yeah, Savage Roar is just one... oh, we can actually hero power, so that works, right? So we have an 8/8 Iron Bark. No, it doesn't. And then 3 in addition. So we only have 11. Oh, so we're always one off lethal. Alright. We could draw with the Newbies Inventor, though. Do I have a Living Roots in this deck? I don't know. Jeez, people at lower ranks are slow. Didn't remember that. Let's go Newbies Inventor and see what happens. Not exactly what I was hoping for, but we can still make something happen here. Just plonk down a lot of taunts, and I guess we'll be fine next turn. We can safely assume that. we can be pretty sure that something relevant survives for next turn, and that should be enough with the Savage Roar, right? With 1 minion on the board, Savage Roar equals 4, hero power for 5, and then a minimum of 2 for the Inventor.
The might of Stormwind.
So in most occasions we will be fine here. Trades there, doesn't kill the Stormwind champion, which means we win! Hurrah! He just has to realize it.
Well played.
Let's help him a little bit. So that one, and these have to go here. That's your only option, friend. Yep. It matches up nicely, but unfortunately, health runs short. Alright, so that should complete our quest, I think. I hope I played enough cards. I should have played a couple more just to be sure. But I think we're actually fine here. We're actually just one short, really. Okay, so let's play casual and play one card, and then concede a game. I'm not really that interested in ranking up these accounts, to be quite honest. I did actually reach rank 20 on both accounts in the first Whispers of the Old Gods season, I think. Just because I did play a bunch of standard games for the bonus packs you got from those.
Let the hunt begin.
Was there always a flower, right?
Catch the
I don't
one.
remember. This is actually quite good. Coin into Wild Growth, into Innervate, Psychotron into Sinjin. That's not awful. That's actually a curve, and I don't hate it. Was pretty good against our last opponent, so sure. Got anything here? Oh, someone invited me to their friend list, apparently. Happy, here we go. Yeah, I think I'm okay with that one.
Well,
Let's go with this.
my thanks to you.
Yeah, you know, we'll actually play a game here. I think this should be over pretty soon. Because we might very well be paired up with some less experienced players in casual. Because I've heard the matchmaking in casual is actually pretty decent right now. Of course, the game has no idea that we're actually pretty experienced here. Is this bad, actually? Could be bad against Deadly Shot, I suppose. Should I have thought of that? Maybe I should have just killed the Timberwolf and then played... I don't know. We should be pretty okay here. To be quite honest, we should be okay here. You should probably head off the Divine Shield. Actually, you're just kind of screwed already. Now watch me lose this game, obviously. It might still happen. New players play slowly, though. It's actually surprising. So does he hit in? Would it be correct to hit? I guess it might be. Because my most obvious play is to hit into the Raid Leader right now. We can safely go Ooze here, though. So we probably should have, to be fair. Yeah, I do think this is the better play. I don't expect him to have an Eagle or a bow anyway, so the weapon destruction is not really needed, I think. Except against multi-shot... Oh, should I play against around multi-shot at these ranks? Maybe I should. Also, our next turn is going to be a little awkward, I guess. Alright. That's a card. That's a card I didn't expect. Certainly. What do we do about that? I guess we just trade in the Ooze here. That's probably fine. We could have drawn a card first, actually. If we draw into a claw, I'm going to be pretty sad. Do we draw a card? I guess actually the Senju might be better here. Let's just keep playing taunts. It's supposed to be good against Hunter, right? So yeah, I'm not really sure why this is in your deck. But I'm sure you'll have a plan. I'm sure you'll have a plan. Iron Beak Owls and everything. Iron Beak Owl wouldn't be terrible here. Yeah, this is very basic, very basic druid hunter, whatever. Potato, right? What do we do here? I guess we leave this one alone. That's probably okay. We can play an ogre here. I'm pretty happy with an ogre. And even if that trades with the Psychotron, then we can still hero power that down, so that's fine. Or swipe, I guess. Might be a decent swipe coming up next turn. Depending on what happens, of course. I wonder whether you'll actually have time to play Ashuraj. Probably not. Ooh, nothing. That's painful. That's not a bad trade, and you should probably take it. Ooh, nothing. That is really painful, especially if I just keep playing these huge taunts. Do I kill the 2-1? No, I don't. I don't really have an excuse to kill that. All these fancy schmancy cards. How is a new player supposed to compete against cards like Bug Creeper? Ah, disgusting. So good. Yeah, that is disappointing, isn't it? Did you have that last turn? You probably should have played that last turn, to be honest. We've got exactly 15 damage. Alright, so there was basically nothing you could do. Yeah, we're not going to see Ashuraj this game.
Well played.
Alright, at least we did play our requisite one card, so that's nice. Okay. So I was planning on just playing one card and then conceding, but guess I might just as well get my 1/3 of 10 gold, perhaps? Alright, let's open some boosters, and then we've got 100 damage to enemy heroes, and that should be the last one in the quest chain here, so I won't bother you with that one, but we will open these fancy boosters here. I don't know whether I will be playing more on these new accounts, if I, oh, that's not bad. Even the epic is just 100 dust, so that's nice. It's a rare of your choice, like an Azure Drake or something. This account could use some Azure Drakes, I think. Maybe some Defender of Arguses, or... well, I don't know. But this is pretty reasonable. Alright, well, so if you are returning to Hearthstone, if you haven't played it in a while, definitely give it a try. Play for a couple of games, open your free 9 boosters. If you have less than 6 months that you haven't played your account, you may wish to be a little careful and do some research. The best I could find is that that a little under half a year is still safe, but I really don't know where the cutoff would be. It certainly isn't given to every single account, because my main Europe account doesn't have it. Perhaps before Karazhan, perhaps somewhere between Karazhan and Whispers of the Old Gods. But if you fall within that period, I would do some research before logging in, because well, missing out on 9 free boosters would be a bit of a shame. So well, hope this was of some use for you. Hope you enjoyed, even if you are not a returning player. You may wish to check out your other region accounts in case you have already made those. I don't think these boosters apply to new accounts either. But if you have made one of those accounts, you may wish to revisit them, because, well, again, 9 boosters is nothing to scoff at. Alright, so that is it for now. As you may have seen on my Twitter already, I'm a little annoyed with Standard right now, so I will probably be checking out Wild later this week, and do expect some videos of different games coming out. And then after BlizzCon is done in a few weeks, I don't have the exact dates on the top of my head, but after BlizzCon we will return to Standard and see what's up. So hope you enjoyed, have a great day, and I will see you next time.